Hey everybody, welcome. MetaQuest here, super stoked to bring you this preview of Crimson Desert, the long-awaited, anticipated new open world game. To start, we're gonna go over the main points from the preview that PlayStation and Pearl Abyss, the creators, which is a Korean-based developer, put out already. One, Cliff and the plot. Two, the map and the regions. Three, all the different ways of travel that we saw in the first preview. But without further ado, let's get into it because I really can't wait. I've been wanting to drop these previews to get more people excited and get the information out there. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the information, if you learned something new. I'm going to be trying to give everybody a little bit of, information that's obvious and as well as some hidden things that I've found. So, all right, let's start. The main protagonist is Cliff. He is a Greymane, which is one of the factions that is for good. They've been portrayed as the protectors of Pywell, which is the continent we're going to be playing on in Crimson Desert. Um, in the opening scenes, you're going to be attacked, maybe even betrayed by a faction called the Black Bears. Their home, which is in one of the regions we'll get to later, I believe it is Payloon. Um, we lose it to the Black Bears, and you wake up, and you've survived, and now you have this mission to avenge your clan, and slowly bringing people from the Greymanes back to its former honor. One of my cons about the game is I prefer RPGs, which this is an action RPG, I guess they said, but it's more of an open world, whatever. Um, I like to make my own character. It's 2026. We've had plenty of games show us how to do this. They put forth the effort in making, the ability for players to make their own players and characters, however they want to look. But hey, clearly they went a bigger route for the map because this map is, we'll get to it later, but it's going to be massive. But yeah, Cliff is a Greymane, and he's going to be tasked with trying to rebuild the Greymane. So that's going to be the main quest, I believe, for this, for Crimson Desert. So keep that in mind. There's going to be plenty to do, including side quests and random passerbys and NPCs and factions throughout. We're going to be helping them, as well as part of the plot is going to be about the Abyss, which is a floating region we'll learn a little bit about later, where we're helping some kind of a magical entity get rid of this dark entity that is taking over Pywell as well. So, as you see there, on to point two. The map is going to be massive, as stated before. It is going to be 2 times the size of Skyrim. It's going to be bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2, as per Will Powers. Look him up. He is the head of PR and marketing for Pearl Abyss. I think he's done a great job so far. I follow him on X. He's done multiple interviews and given countless amounts of information, including recently. We're a month out right now. This was yesterday. He put out no microtransactions. I think he said no microtransactions at launch, so be wary. They could obviously add them, afterwards, but he said no microtransactions at launch, but he also said something along the lines of this is supposed to be a premium game. So at launch, they want it to be, what it is, and players pay their money and get exactly everything that they had planned. He also said that there's going to be no leveling. So you're not going to be leveling up, which is weird, but I think he said you can level up weapons and gear. I don't know about your different mounts that we'll get into in the next point. But yeah, so there's no leveling. So and he said that you can basically make yourself as strong as you want in the early game and walk through the rest of the game, or you can, rush through the main story and really get challenged in a way. We don't know if there's difficulties yet. I'm assuming there's going to be a difficulty because, very few games nowadays have difficulties. But that's another thing about this game is he even talked about it in one of the interviews. I'll try to find it and put it in the description, but if not, just type in Will Powers developer interview. They've talked about it multiple times. This game has been inspired by so many different games that we've played in the past and we've loved. From Assassin's Creed to the Movement, Dragon's Dogma with the different NPC interactions you can do, as well as in a different video for I think it's either the second or the third preview that they did. They showed that you can send your companions and the Gray Mains and whoever you have at camp to go and do your bidding for you, which is actually pretty sick. So you can make things happen while you're on the other side of the map, which I love. Then we have, Street Fighter. The combat looks crazy. I mean, Elden Ring, the combat, they really did a great job. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 with the massive map and the open scale of, the Crimson Desert. To add to the massive map, Pyro is going to have multiple regions throughout, and they're all going to be very different. To start, we have Hernand, a region rich with mountains and rivers, and the starting point of the adventure of Crimson Desert. This is where we're going to wake up. Secondly, you have Payloon, the northernmost region and the home of the Grey Mains. I'm assuming this is where we're going to be taking back. Then we have Dominus, the center of Pywell's political and military. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the capital. As well as it looks heavily guarded. So I hope we don't have to siege that, but I'm assuming we probably will. Then we have Dalasia, a region at the forefront of science and technology in the region. This is where I'm assuming we're going to get the mech, as well as other really cool things. Who knows? Not to beat a dead horse, but I hope they didn't just put everything cool in the trailer. It's happened before. Then we have Crimson Desert, which is a massive desert, obviously. I think this area is going to be, people are going to think it's going to be boring. I think it's going to have tons of dungeons and secret holes in the wall. Just based off of the footage I've seen so far. It looks, a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2. Then, last but not least, we have the Abyss, which is the magical area where we're going to be doing tons of puzzles, figuring out where this dark magic that has plagued Pywell is coming from and what its purpose is. Alright, and last but not least, we're going to get on to the travel and mounts. We have seen multiple different ways of traveling throughout Pywell. I'm pretty sure if you guys are like me, we were hooked and really invested in this game back when they dropped the trailers, showing you can literally mount a dragon. So it basically grabbed everybody from, Skyrim to come over here and really start looking at gameplay for this. Not only do we have the dragon, we have a winged glide that we get from the magical entity from the Abyss people in the early stage of the game in the first preview. We also get a mechanized robot looking jetpack thing. I mean, it's crazy that you can have dragons and horses in one part of the world and then you have a robot mech in the other. It's actually outrageous, but we'll see how they tie it all in. Then you have all the animals from the horses, as I mentioned. There's a bear in one of the scenes. There's a raptor-looking dinosaur. And even we have this, grapple hook spider web looking thing. Another game they've been inspired by, I guess, Spider-Man. But yeah, so basically we have tons of ways to travel this planet. Travel Pywell, but it's going to be needed, obviously, because Will Powers also said they definitely wanted to scale the map so where it was vertical, not just horizontal, which I love. Fallout 4 did really well with that by implementing their jetpacks with the power armor, so you could, once you got to that high of a level, you could travel to places you've never been the whole game, and you've been walking by them the entire time. So that's going to be great. There's tons of mountains. So, you're going to be needing these different forms of travel to find different treasures throughout, which is a whole nother thing. I mean, that's going to be mentioned later previews, but they've stated that if you want to wander off the beaten path, you're going to be rewarded over and over and over in this game, which personally I love because I'm constantly looting, looking for, hidden gems. Anytime I do a playthrough of an open world RPG kind of game. The map size is going to be either really good for us or really bad. As stated, we know we've been hurt. So let's just hope it's filled with, stuff to do. I anticipate it is because I've seen, certain aspects in between big cities there's stuff. But we shall see. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have for this one, guys. Check out Will Powers on his page if you want more information. He's done tons of interviews, like I stated before. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you're looking forward to the most, and check out the shorts as well as the videos to come. See you guys in the next one. Peace.